Chapter 3 Louise. Grandma returned to the countryside at the start of the school year. We finally made some money. I then advised my father on which stock he should invest in. My name is Louise Ross. I am a transmigrator from an advanced civilization. I come from a futuristic Earth, where the education system is to be excellent, with no exceptions. After being reborn into a primitive Earth, I found everything quite dull, where nothing interested me except money. From the moment I started to talk, I'd been responsible for my father's promotions by making suggestions. Don't get me wrong, I think they're great parents, but I want to live a carefree life without having to worry about money. My father's rise in his salary meant that we could finally buy stocks. My business strategy is to sit back and watch my money grow. Other than that, everything is quite boring. That Morgan fella is quite something. He made a new school just for his daughter. Whitehall, a school for geniuses and future leaders. Curriculum, academic and athletic excellence. Failure is not tolerated in this school. All ace or nothing. All students who wanted a scholarship had to meet the criteria for getting in, a high IQ score. Otherwise pay full tuition, which is an upwards of $100,000 per month. My mother nearly fainted upon seeing the school tuition, and urged me not to fail a single class. I calmly said to her, "I can pass all the classes in my sleep." There was controversy surrounding the school's high rate. When interviewed, Mr. Morgan said, "It's a school for our country's most gifted children. Not an elite school. If the wealthy wanted their kids to go there, then they can afford to pay the school's tuition. There are only a handful of students in this school, including me and Margot Stone. It is only the two of us in our grade. There are no extra activities in the school, just electives." The first day, Margot and I were given a test to see where we were at. It's a good thing I asked her what she had studied beforehand. But in the test, I scored higher than her in every subject. We both got the same score in civics, we're both already in advance, algebra and math. In science, Margot was lagging behind me. Then came the art portion of the test, which included dancing and playing instruments. I doctored my score according to my background. I didn't take piano or any music classes, so I had to fail. When I was asked to play an instrument, I said, "I don't know how to." Well, Margot got a perfect score. Before my parents were called about the results, my father asked me, "Is dancing and playing the piano really necessary?" "It's a society thing. If you want to do business with wealthy families, you have to imitate them, Dad." "Dear, what do you think about getting a new house?" Mom asked. Dad asked, "What's wrong with this one?" "I'm just worried, what if Margot wants to come over for a visit, and we might lose face if her family sees," Mom said as she turned to me. I then said, "We made enough to be able to afford a higher-end unit. Making an investment in a better house will sure pay off." "I guess we're buying a new house then," Dad said with a smile. Upon seeing several housing units, I persuaded my parents to buy the higher-end penthouse near the business center. I said to them, "It's fine, we made enough money to start an investment firm." "Investment firm?" "Louise, I don't know anything about running an investment firm," my dad said. "You made your money trading stocks. How could you expect to do any other business?" I asked him with serious expression. When we were invited to a tea party hosted by Mrs. Cross, Margot's grandmother, we went shopping for new clothes. At the party, Margot and I listened attentively while sitting beside the grown-ups, unlike the other children. "Your husband is starting an investment firm," Madame Cross said. "Yes, he has an act for investing in a lucrative business," Mom said with a smile. "In that case, here's 1.5 million. Margot said as she handed her black card. "Margot, sweetheart, you can't just invest your money like that," her grandmother said. "It's okay. I trust Big Brother," she said with a smile. The other guests laughed and looked down at me and my mom. Margot and I transferred to another table to talk alone. What are you doing? I ask seriously. Making an investment. Of course. I trust Big Brother. I'm sure you will take good care of my money. This girl. I then asked her. Are you a transmigrator or time traveler? Both. She said with a smile. When did you figure it out? When you started doctoring your scores. She said. Would you like to come over to our housewarming party? You brought a new house? Yeah, we just moved in. Sure. A few days later. Hi. Margot said happily as she walked out the elevator straight to the penthouse. Hi. Margot. Mom said happily. What a beautiful home. Her grandmother said as she entered. Her uncle behind them said. I never knew you could make this much money on stock exchange. Our new house was located at the city center, the 2-story penthouse of a prime building. Wow. Look at the lights. There is a pool up here. Margot said in exclamation. It was an open concept layout. With the piano at the center of the living room. We have a cinema. If you want to watch movies. I said as I offered. Mom interrupted. Later, Luis, after dinner. My dad asked, where is Mr. Stone? He's on his way up. Later he came with his assistant, who was dragging a huge money tree. Mr. Morgans looked at the house and gave a look of approval. One day I won't have to please him or anybody when I have more money than them. Daddy. Don't forget my investment. Margot yelled. Morgan Stone handed us a check of $1.5 million to invest in Margot's best interest. Before class started at school, Margot said. Dad was really impressed by your house. I want to live in a house like that, but Dad doesn't like it. Because the neighbors are too close. Don't you live in a huge mansion? Yeah, but your house is trendy to look at. Just then the teacher walked in. All right, you two. As you know, there has been a controversy surrounding our school. Regarding whether or not it should stand as an independent body and not be a part of some other school program. So the board has decided to let you participate in competitions, and we will also be hosting an open house where you will be showcasing your learning abilities. The goal is show the public that you are in need of a different curriculum. So you want us to make other children cry and humiliation. That sums it up. The teacher said. Chapter 4. After hearing the news of the board's decision, I sneered, after enduring the torment of repeating school twice. I don't want to be stuck in a regular school, doing elementary grade homework. So I decided to work overtime. When our first quiz bee came, I held back no mercy, and humiliated the other school. At a music competition, I played Sonata No. 9 on violin with Luis as my pianist. Before the start of those events, I asked Aunt Alex to livestream it. Mrs. Ross, eager to brag about her son, vehemently agreed. I also told Dad to livestream the school's open house. There were only 2 students in the first grade, me and Luis. Seeing us answer advanced mathematics and other subjects while still acting normal, comments started pouring in. Those 2 are geniuses. Another comment chimed in. I can see why they would need to be in a different school. Having them attend normal classes meant for ordinary students would stifle them. These 2 would feel out of place if you put them in a regular school. Having them around others with the same level of intelligence will make them feel normal. The open house was so well received that politicians in the country promised to support and prompted the city mayor to also promote in the school. We should encourage brilliant, gifted young minds to stand out in a sea of mediocrity. In order to make sure that this program is a success, we would be administering an IQ test in every school in the country. Those who will pass will be given full scholarships to attend Whitehall. It won't be long until this school is buzzing with noise. Luis said casually. You act like that's a bad thing. We need more students to enroll here if this program is going to be a success. He then asked, is there a reason you don't want to go to regular school? You could have also done well in regular school, yet you made your dad build a new school and program for you. I looked at him and said, I've gone back to the basics ones already. I want to learn something new. If I attend regular school, I'll bore myself to death. You got a point there. I've been bored since I was born. The next semester, more students showed up, but no one joined me and Luis in our class. The only thing we were interacting with kids, our own physical age, are at gatherings in high society. Parents wish that I was their daughter and Luis their son. All the children hate us, including Henry Smith. In the original story and my past life, all praise went to him. He was the son that everyone wanted, but now that praise went to Luis. Next to him, Henry Smith seemed ordinary. Considering how hard it is to get into Whitehall. He would have to still be in the same school as was in the novel and my previous life. As for Jane, I'll be queen if she manages to get into Whitehall just to ruin my life. 2 years later, like this story, comment, and subscribe to be notified when the next chapter comes out.